Hello.
Hello.
Let me get this mic in the middle. I have to watch what I do because I'm recorded now.
Yes. Yeah, your video. You can't just be freaking wanking it. No, just kidding. What would you do anyways? You're literally here with,
So anyways, the Loch Ness Monster. It's just a cool-ass guy.
Dude, yes.
What's that noise? What noise?
Jacob's search history. Loch Ness Monster. Sexy. What? Bud, what are you doing?
Loch Ness Monster. Long leg. Long leg edition.
Oh, God, what are we doing?
I don't know, dude.
Hello, my name is Hunter.
And my name is Jacob.
And this is the Only Friends on Friday podcast.
Podcast about spooky, scary things that we turn funny somehow, some way. Not all the time, but we try our best.
We do try our best. And what this podcast is about is exactly what he just said. Good job. Jacob, I'm having a concern that your microphone might be too loud.
You think it's too loud?
Just check. Just make sure you're not like...
I'm not peeking.
But before we go any further, Jacob, we should play the intro.
I agree. Let's do it.
All right, we're back. Well, first of all...
Yeah, I have no idea what this is about.
Congratulations.
On what?
On being the best you during this time that we're in. You know?
Doesn't sound sincere.
No, seriously, you're the best. You're the best you, making light of the situation. I did just take a gander at your Snapchat story, sir, and it did look like you said, "Mother, where's the canola oil? Where's that at?"
Dude, someone else said that too. I was sweaty. It just worked out.
I'm gonna take a dive. I'm gonna grease up and then take a dive. That's what that was.
Get in the sun and show off a little, huh? Someone was like, "Did you steal your mom's vegetable oil?" Said, "Fuck you, Megan."
Megan and now Hunter for saying the same thing.
And now Hunter, dude. A lot of people have like swiped up on it, but I haven't opened it yet because I'm scared. At this point,
yeah, it's.
The lighting was fire. I was like,
it's like, wow, this man keeps more and more clothes are not on him. More and more. But Jacob, do you want to know what's also sometimes naked?
What is also sometimes naked?
This crazy creature that we're going to be talking about. And the crazy creature is going to be called, well, it's not, it is called the Snallygaster. Yeah.
The Snallygaster.
It's called the Snallygaster. So, just a...
That sounds
quick,
like something I would say as a joke. Like she was just yanking on my Snallygaster, and I told her, "Stephanie, please.
Stephanie,
we're
please.
in church." You know?
Yeah. Quit yanking on my Snally.
I could see that. I could see that.
In church?
Had some XP around that subject. Church yanking.
It's like most people think that the back pew is the best, but the front...
They never expect it.
They don't expect it, so...
Pastor looks right over you. Never knows.
He's looking at the sinners in the back, and not the front.
You sit next to the most devoted. They're praising the Lord. They're not gonna look at you.
If you want to Google, I'll send. Hold on, let me send you a link that I'm.
If you want to Google how to avoid hell, you can go ahead.
Jacob, before I go into what the Snallygaster is, first of all, I want to make it clear that no, it is not a male piece.
Disappointment.
Yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way before you made the improper assumption.
It's too late.
Do you know? I gave you a hint. It's not a penis. Do you know what it is?
No. What is it?
The Snallygaster is an American folklore. It is a dragon-like beast said to inhabit central Maryland, the Washington, D.C. metro area. And
okay.
Yeah, okay. And particularly the Middletown area of Frederick County, Maryland. So it's a dragon-like beast. Is that what you...
Called the Snallygaster, huh?
Correct. That is correct. Jacob, in the 18th century, the area was settled by German immigrants beginning in the 1730s. Earlier accounts described the community being terrorized by a monster called Snallygaster, meaning quick ghost in German. The earliest incarnations mixed the half-bird features of a siren with the nightmarish features of demons and ghouls.
Oh.
The Snallygaster was described as half-reptile, half-bird, with a metallic beak lined with razor-sharp teeth, occasionally with octopus-like tentacles. Oh, damn. They said bird, reptile, robotic mouth, tentacle-grabbing fiend, the Snallygaster is, Jacob.
That is a ridiculous idea.
Yeah. I'm just thinking to myself, what were these boys thinking when this was thought of? Like, it had to have maybe been seen?
Oh my God.
Or how do you think of something like this?
Acid.
Yeah. Moving on.
I looked up what it looks like.
Yeah.
It has tentacles coming out of its mouth.
Yes. And Jacob, going back to the naked it is like a weird hairless dragon in some of the pictures, and it's not okay.
It really isn't okay. It only has one eye.
It's really quite gross.
In some of these photos, it has like one eye. Some of these photos are giving me Cthulhu vibes.
Yeah,
kind of.
It's like spitting out the tentacles in some of the pictures. Jacob, it swoops silently from the sky to pick up and carry off its victims. The earliest stories claim that this monster sucked the blood of its victims. 7-pointed stars, which reputedly kept the Snallygaster at bay, can be seen painted on local barns. Oh my God, 7-pointed stars. So basically, like, they're old folks in the 18th century to go and paint a 7-pointed star on the barn, in the crops or whatever the hell, and then it keeps the Snallygaster away.
It has to be 7 points though, because if it's 6 or 8, he knows how to count.
Yeah,
He knows how to
7
count.
points. I'm looking at a rectangular heptagram, and that's a 7-pointed star.
I'm just really confused how it's able to breathe, because on all these sketches and photos, and it's like it's having trouble with all the tentacles coming out of its mouth. Like,
Yeah,
there's no room.
it's like it's choking. But you gotta think, look at it's coming out of his mouth. Unless like that goes back in, it's constantly would make like a sound, right?
Can I get another sample?
No. 19th century, it has been suggested that the legend was resurrected in the 19th century to frighten freed slaves.
That's not funny.
It's not.
That's horrible.
That is terrible. 20th century, Jacob, newspaper accounts throughout February and March 1909 described encounters between the local residents and a beast with enormous wings, a long pointed bill, claws like steel hooks, and an eye in the center of its forehead. It was described as making screeches like a locomotive whistle.
Mike Wazowski.
What the hell does that have to do with this? The one eye in the middle of the... A great deal of publicity surrounded this string of appearances, with the Smithsonian Institution offering a reward for the hide. U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt reportedly considered postponing an African safari to personally hunt the beast. It was later revealed that these reports were part of a hoax perpetrated by Middleton Valley Register editor George C. Roderick and reported Ralph S. Wolfe in the attempt to increase readership. The description they invented borrowed themes from existing German folklore, including dragon-like creatures who snatched children and livestock, and also appeared to invoke descriptions of the Jersey Devil, which had been spotted mere weeks earlier. On June 22nd, 1953, Whittaker Chambers, whose home lies in Carroll County, Maryland, used the Snallygaster to examine U.S. Senator Joseph McCarthy in his essay, Is Academic Freedom in Danger? Wow. So basically, yeah, this is just giving me the rundown of that. But isn't that crazy? My boy Teddy Rose said, Safari, Zebras? Nah, let me kick this. Let me just kick this. I'm gonna send you the new word. Let me just kick this Snally.
That kind of makes it a little credible, if you ask me.
Right? Yeah, I trust Teddy. It's my boy Teddy. So it sucked the blood out of its victims, Jacob. Sucked it good.
The Snallygaster has one widely known enemy called Dueo. The Dueo is reported to be a mammalian with features similar to a wolf, but the stance and stature of a human. The Dueo and the Snallygaster have reportedly had vicious encounters dating back to the early settlement of the Middletown Valley.
Did you happen to Google Dueo?
No.
It is like an erect standing fox. It is like a
That man said I'm using the word erect in this. In Maryland, it was first sighted by a man who operated a brick burning kiln near I almost said Cumberbird. Cumberland. Spied near the kiln, sleeping. When it awoke, it emitted a blood-curdling scream and angrily flew away. It was also sighted near Hagerstone. It's a weird way to say stone. South of Middletown at Lover's Leap, and seen flying over the mountains between Gapland and Burkittsville, where it was reported to have laid. What?
You're not gonna let that one slide, my guy.
Wait, what'd I say?
You said Hagerstone. That's a weird way to spell stone. Not instead of Hagerstown. He said, no. I'll keep going.
It is a joke.
Was it really?
No.
Oh, I was going to say,
No.
I don't think you... Because I started looking, like, that is a weird way to spell stone.
South of Middletown at Lover's Leap, and seen flying over the mountains between Gapland and Burkittsville, where it was reported to have laid another very large egg. The last sighting in Frederick County occurred in March 1909, where 3 men fought the creature outside a railroad station for nearly an hour and a half before chasing it into the woods of Carroll County.
They say, damn, this is taking a long time. They're wasting their time for an hour and a half. Jacob, do you understand, like, if you were fighting someone for an hour and a half, the amount of time that would feel like, let alone a dragon monster.
Jimmy, get me the gloves, he's back. How are they fighting that big thing for an hour and a half?
You know what's crazy? That they were fighting this thing for fucking an hour and a half, sir.
I know, without dying. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sorry, but a normal human versus an octopus is a challenge, okay?
A human versus a human for that long is hard.
Exactly. But I'm just saying, like, you're against a wild, ginormous creature that can fly. Humans can't fly. We don't got tentacles. They have metal beaks.
We don't have those either.
Don't got those on the ready. Perhaps Jacob, perhaps that they look at the Snallygaster and they're like, damn, we could take on that boy. And then it just keeps coming back to like, shit, we should have never provoked him. We should have never provoked that son of a bitch, because he's just flying in the sky, dive bombing him each time.
Probably. And they're like hiding in like a garage or something with a stick and just smacking that boy.
It's just like a boss in a video game. You just hit him once and he just flies around and then comes
Yeah.
back. You got to hit him in the right zone.
Keep taking his HP down. Mm-hmm. You know as well as I do, a good story is a good time. This story comes to us from the website Reddit, from the Reddit user JacobBoy69 once again.
Oh, welcome back. What a cool fellow he is.
So here goes nothing. Once upon a time, I was walking through the forest on my lonesome. It was just me and my phone and my AirPods, bumping Juice WRLD, chilling, having a good time. Here was 1962. There was this creature called the Snallygaster that was the talk of the town around this time. I lived in Frederick County, Maryland. I didn't know that this would be the next area this creature would pull up.
As they say.
So I was just walking, minding my own business, when all of a sudden, I heard what sounded like a bird fly by, but about 10 times as loud as it should have been. This startled me, so I ripped out an AirPod, and the sound was gone. So I continued on my walk, enjoying nature, clearing my mind, when I heard it again. This time my AirPod was already out, so therefore, the sound must have been correct. Juice WRLD saying all girls are the same in my left ear. My right ear, hearing this crazy ass noise, I was overwhelmed. Tears rolling down my cheek. I had to pause Juice, this was a serious situation. With Juice WRLD on pause, I had a better idea of my surroundings. And that's when I saw it. This gross, hairless ass creature emerges from the forest. One-eyed motherfucker just staring right at me. I just stared right back at him. I didn't know what to do at this point. He continues to creep out and I'm like, damn, that boy's long. And then he drops his tentacles out of his mouth. Kind of like he was showing off his piece.
He unzips his mouth to drop his tentacles.
His tentacles dropped, hit the ground, making a noise. I said, dude, what the fuck? That's gross. It turned to me, head cocked, and began to approach. I wanted to die at this time, so I was all for it. Me standing in the middle of the path, gazes locked with each other's, it began to approach closer and closer. This is the time I realized it was the Snallygaster. I said, oh, my boy, Snally, how's it going? How are the kids? Snally looked at me. Her eye opened wide. She said, they're actually doing quite swell. Jacob Boy 69, thank you for asking. I said, whoa, you can talk? I was just... I didn't expect a response, Snally. I'm not up for conversation. This seemed to hurt Snally's feelings. Her tentacles retracted into her mouth, very slowly, as her head drooped down. I said, hey, Snally, I didn't mean it like that. But if you need some help, don't come to me. She then ate the fuck out of me. I'm actually writing this from heaven. We got laptops just this year, so yeah, I was gobbled up by the Snallygaster. I'm kind of treated like royalty up here because of the way I died. You see, her tentacles went in every orifice of my body and just began to rip me apart from the inside out. The pain was unbearable, but you know, it's fine. I got a king size bed up here, so we're good. All right, guys, thank you for listening to my story. If you want to hear more, just go to my page. Thanks.
No link. Like, just don't go to JacobBoy69 / just my page.
You know what the fuck going on?
You know how I do. You just said, you know what the fuck going on from heaven. Hey, bud.
What's good?
It becometh of that time. Is the Snallygaster real?
Is the Snallygaster real, you ask?
I ask.
Well, I mean, Theodore Roosevelt himself, Mr. Walk with a Big Stick, that was his motto.
The king of hunting, as they used to call him.
He spoke of it, so that gives it some credibility.
True.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's real. I mean, I think some people have, some government officials have spoke of the Bigfoot boy. That doesn't mean he's real.
Sure.
But, sure, why not? This creature is so absurd looking that it has to be real, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with you there, my good sir.
Do you think it's real?
The Snallygaster, Jacob, like you said, is such a crazy looking thing that it probably has to be real. How else would anyone describe such a crazy thing?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Just like that story I just read. True story. No one can come up with that.
Of course.
You know?
Facts.
Okay, so that's 2 yeses. So as far as the OFOF community is concerned, the Snallygaster cha-ching is real. I mean, it even has a rival.
Yeah.
You can't create a creature and then create a rival. No one has that brain capacity.
Correct. You know? Since we've determined that the Snallygaster is real, Jacob, do you know it's also real that our audience can go do?
Of course. What else is real is our Instagram. That is OFOF_podcast, OFOF_podcast. That's where we post everything ever. That's where we post when we upload things, YouTube videos when we do them, updates on our story. We go live on there on Fridays to talk to the boys and girls and everyone. So, yes. Yes. Where else can they find us, Hunter?
You guys can find us pretty much a lot of places, but we would appreciate it if you subscribe to us on iTunes, followed us on Spotify, and subscribe to our YouTube All those you can search Only Friends on Friday, and we will pop up like a morning boner. Am I right?
Goodness, not even morning wood, just straight up morning boner, morning stiffage. Yeah, sure.
And that's that.
Sir, that is that.
Thank you so much, you guys, for supporting this. Please tell all your friends, spread the word if you like this podcast. Thank you for everyone who listens. Much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you guys. Means a lot.
Well, I think that's about it, Jacob.
I think so too. All right, guys, stay safe out there. My name is Jacob.
And my name is Hunter.
We are City Boys.
City Boys, we have made it.
We've made it. Hey, you with the mom.
Hey, look at your mom. How is your mom?
Tell her we miss her.